This is Gerardo Del Real with Resource Stock Digest. Joining me today is the president and CEO of E79 Resources, the very lucky, apparently, Mr. Rory Quinn. Rory, how are you this morning?
Gerardo, very good. Good to hear from you.
It's great to have you back on. Lots to chat about, but we have to start with the news from yesterday. The headline reads, Visible gold discovered in consecutive drill holes at depth at E79's Happy Valley Gold Prospect. This has some pretty significant implications for the geologic model that you've developed, right? And we'll talk about that in just a bit, but man, better lucky than good, and lucky and good is a great combination. Good work.
Well, thanks, Gerardo. Yeah, I mean, we could have very reasonably been accused of being lucky on our first drill intercept, right? I mean, the whole idea is to get underneath the water table. All the previous mining here at Happy Valley was about an ounce per ton, but above the water table. Small syndicates working there, undercapitalized, did not have the money to dewater and stop the workings getting wet. So we've drilled underneath this water table into visible gold on the first hole, but then to do that back-to-back consecutive holes intersect visible gold again, more spectacular this time, and 80 meters apart from the first intersection, I think is huge, and that's a lot. That's quite a bit more powerful, I think, to have these 80 meters apart. So we've got obviously an interesting structure. We'll put a third deep hole down. First one went down about 400 meters. Second one went down 350 meters. We'll put out another hole of about 300 meters or so, get 3 points of data of reference at depth. And then we'll work to really understand that. We've got assays pending on the first hole, first Fiji, and we'll get all of this logged, cut, sawed, get that off to Western Australia and work to understand that. So very exciting times at Myrtleford.
I mentioned the implications for the geologic model, right? And you said it well in the release. It not only speaks to the potential at the Happy Valley target, but also the large number of historic gold mines, right? You have 7 kilometers along strike at Happy Valley, and there's other targets on the property. Can you provide people that may be newer to the story just a bit of context as to the property package and the multiple targets that you're now starting to put together here?
Well, Myrtleford is a big property, right? We've got 2 properties, and Myrtleford's the largest of the 2. And so, whilst the smaller one, we really have our arms around that, and kind of have quite a well established thesis there about what we want to do, and that's at Beaufort. Myrtleford, due to its size, we're just going to be flying LiDAR now. That will do the whole property and really work to understand the structure at surface across the whole property. But we've got these really 5 areas of real interest where we see just this trends of historic gold mines and workings in very clear identifiable trends. And in the southeast, so we're in one of these now, which is one area that we have quite a bit of understanding about, quite a bit of historical records. The Myrtleford area is responsible for over 5 million ounces of historical gold production in the gold fields around there, and never been looked at on a holistic basis. This is a consolidation of the entire historic gold mining camp. We've probably tied up about 80% of that historic camp. And so we're looking at it on a completely holistic basis. We're looking right now at the southeast area where there was gold mining that produced at about an ounce per ton, but right at surface. So, and I should say that this is interesting too. On that whole property, this is to the extent to which this is underexplored. 3 drill holes on the whole property, and the records in Australia are very good. As far as if you're running a program in Australia, you're obliged to let them know what you're doing, what drills you're putting drill holes you're putting in. We've got 3 drill holes in the entire 420 square kilometer property going back to the 50s, and on Happy Valley, where we are in particular, 2 drill holes historically just on that property. One went through the workings and it was a blown hole. The other was in gold at 7 grams per ton. We've put 2 holes into it, both in gold, beneath the water table, in quite gaudy, spectacular looking visible gold. So we know that gold, that quartz, we know that will assay. We'll see how to what extent it will assay. But I certainly wouldn't be surprised to see the kind of ounce per ton material that we have seen historically in that region in the quartz. What will be interesting is all of that transition material, all the sulfides on either side of that quartz. How does that assay? How does that grade? That will be interesting. So what could a potential mining widths look like?
Excellent timing to be granted your DTC eligibility, right? Which of course makes the company's stock a whole lot more accessible to U.S. investors. Can you speak to that a bit for those that haven't been able to really take advantage of that up until now?
Yeah, no, that is huge, because until very recently, this has really been a local Canadian story. We just really started this company and acquired the assets in November, did a $6 million raise at 45 cents, no warrants, so no overhang there. Could have raised more, but thought the $6 million was the right amount. We've got about $5 million of that left. So yeah, to the extent now that we can broaden this out and make it a North American story, give access to people in the U.S. now that they can trade it online. Right, they can have access to the story. It's the ticker is ESVNF, and yeah, like you said, DTC eligible now, and we just put out a news release this morning about a partnership with Red Cloud, who have a lot of relationships North American wide as far as institutions, retail brokers, investment advisors, you name it. So this is just a burgeoning story. $15 million market cap. We've got $5 million in the bank. So enterprise value of about $10 million. It represents a huge value proposition and upside in that region where we see companies regularly trading with market caps of 50 million, 100 million, up to 200 million. So I think it's all upward mobility from here, and a lot of blue sky.
Well said. I'm looking forward to the targets at Beaufort, obviously looking forward to assays, and looking forward to having you back. Thank you so much, Rory.
Thanks so much, Gerardo. Yes, this will be a rich period of news, right? Wrapping up, doing this third hole at Myrtleford, and then moving over to Beaufort. We've got 5 really nice targets there, and we'll explore those methodically in the context of a larger 5,000 meter program. We've got great drilling costs, sub $200 per meter all in. So we've got a lot of drilling ahead of us. Thanks, Gerardo.
Excellent. Thank you. Take care.
All the best. Bye-bye.
Bye now.